All right, hey guys, it's John Martin here from newlifefitness.com, answering one question a week. And this week's question comes from Esteban. It says, "Hey John, what are some ways to prevent shin splints, and what are some tips on treating them and working your way back to running?" Good question. Shin splints are pretty common, especially now, more than they were a few years ago. I'll explain why, but first I'll kind of tell you guys what shin splints are. Shin splints are one or two things. It's two. See my fingers. Fantastic. Shin splints are one or two things. Usually it's a small microfraction in the tibia, basically the first bone of the leg, which generally isn't the case with most people. Most people, it's just kind of a flare of inflammation and maybe micro tears in the anterior tibialis, which is the bone or the muscle. Sorry, the muscle in front of the leg, and that just comes from repeated trauma, maybe pounding the pavement, as they call it. It is pounding your body. Takes a little bit of wear and tear. It's interesting, the question with shin splints, because shin splints become more prevalent now than they were a few years ago. Kind of explain with my model here. Not my wife this time, or chicken. There we go. The reason is because back in the day, people had flat shoes. Okay, very similar to this, but they had closed-off toes. I mean, you guys know the Nike old-school waffle print, Steve Prefontaine type shoes. People got shin splints because they kept pounding the pavement. Shoe companies got wise to that, so they added padding and elevated the heel. Think like Nike Shocks. Okay. But the bad part of that is that the foot no longer, and lower calf no longer needed to sustain this foot position, proper running mechanics, proper running form. So what happened was there's a lot of instability in the ankle, and the knee, the hip, the back. All those things become unstable. So then people have knee injuries, and that's usually a lot worse than a shin splints because you need surgery and bad stuff. So what the shoe companies do, they went back to the minimalist stuff, and the research really backs this up too. People are getting rid of plantar fasciitis and knee injuries just from barefoot running. That's because they're doing it properly. That being said, though, when you pound the pavement in these, there's really no padding. So shin splints are kind of coming back on the rise. So it's a really good question, Esteban. One thing with shin splints, there's generally there's a few ways to get rid of them. Two methods really. The first one is change, and that's really relative, and there's different things you can change. The first thing I'd recommend you change, it depends what you're running the surface. If you're running on asphalt or concrete, run on asphalt. Any avid runner will tell you asphalt is much more forgiving than concrete. But if you're already running the roads on the asphalt, then switch to dirt. There's plenty of parks here in Sacramento. I live in Sacramento. That being said, though, the dirt gets pretty hard during the summer when it doesn't rain. So then maybe switch over to grass. Get to a softer surface. I'm not a big proponent of treadmills at all. So if you can, run outside. Esteban's doing Tough Mudder, so you're getting used to running outside in the elements is a good thing. If that really doesn't kill the remedy, then change your mode of exercise. If you check on the website, newlifefitness.com, and the Facebook page, facebook.com/newlifefitness, it's everywhere. Even the YouTube channel, there are many different modes of exercise you can do, especially if you train for Tough Mudder, that you should be doing already, climbing and jumping and carrying things to get you ready for that. In addition to the running, although there is a decent amount of running, I think it's like 12 miles or something like that at altitude, which is no joke. So change a couple things you can change. So change your surface, change your mode of exercise, also change your shoes. But you might not need to do that. So one way to find out is after your shin starts hurting, kind of walk around the house and do some toe flexions. And find out exactly where your shin hurts. Find out if it hurts worse or less with the shoe on or off. If it hurts more with the shoe on, then your shoes are probably the issue. And then there's some recommendations I give you. The Vibras are nice, but they're pretty intense. If you're not ready for them, then, get some Nike Frees. Those are it's an easy transition. Personally, I like the Morels. I think it's called the Sonic Glove or the Morel gloves. Those are quite nice. They have Vibram outsole. Vibram makes a really good outsoles. They've been making outsoles for years, but it's kind of caught on lately, which is nice for them. Also, New Balance makes some really good shoes. I think they have zeros and ones, and what that really talks about is the elevation of the heel. Once again, all about heel elevation. If you can do that naturally, it's more advantageous for you because you'll strengthen the lower leg musculature, and that's generally where the problem comes from. But most people with the shin splints, when the anterior tibialis is flared up, is because the arch here, falls. They have fallen arch. So one thing, if you have fallen arches, you probably, or when you run, you're probably going to get shin splints. So there's a couple exercises you can do to help strengthen those. First, at least the arch on your feet. The first thing you do is toe curl. So what you're going to do is sit in a chair. Okay, the model's still here. You're going to put a rolled up towel on the ground, or even like a handkerchief, to start off light, maybe it's a sock. You're going to curl your toes. You see how I'm curling there? And pick it up. Okay, it's pretty simple. You're going to curl your toes and pick it up off the ground. Do that about 100 times. Another alternative there to that exercise is just heel walks. Okay, you're just going to put your toe up and just walk about 50 meters down and then 50 meters back. And that's going to strengthen the anterior tibialis. So we've already strengthened the arch here. We've strengthened the anterior tibialis. Another really good exercise, this is one of my favorites, is that you actually face the wall. I'm facing you, I don't know why you're at the wall, it's okay. But you're going to put your hands on the wall, and then from there you're going to contract your foot. So you guys see on the model here, getting pretty close, you're actually going to contract. See how the arch pops up? Right here? See that? There you go. You're going to contract your foot, hopefully not to that same degree. We'll find out. I'm sure you'll tell me. That same degree. What it's going to do is strengthen your arch. You're going to balance on one foot like that for 20 seconds. The big thing there is make sure you don't curl your toes to shorten your foot. Okay? Just make sure your toes are straight. You shouldn't even bend your toes at all or have any tension in your toes. You're just contracting that arch. And then eventually you're going to be able to hold that, proper arch, the whole day. But those three exercises, so the toe curls, the heel walks, and then, just balancing on one foot. Also, after you exercise, be sure to ice your anterior tibialis, the shin. Oh, here we go. Sorry, there it is. I had another prop here. And then also do some foam rolling in your calves. You can also foam roll your anterior tibialis, which is going to be quite painful. I think I'll do a foam rolling video later on. But for now, what we're going to do is work more on that arch. So with the arch, what you're going to do is just put this on the ground. You're going to sit in your chair. You can do this even at work with a golf ball. I don't have a golf ball right now, so I have the dog's ball. I don't know what she does with this. She chews it looks like. We're just going to roll it underneath your arch, okay? And really, don't be scared to put some serious pressure on there. Find out where those knots are. It's going to feel quite painful, okay? But it's going to feel like a bunch of cords and tendons and fibers. Just press through them, and at the same time, wiggle your toes. There we go, wiggling toes. Change the foot. I'm having fun with this model more than I should probably. Yeah, but those four things. So change the surface, change the exercise, change your shoes. Also do those exercises: the toe curls, the heel walks, then the balance and really contracting the arch. And then lastly, when you're done, kind of ice your calves. Not even your calves so much. I'm sorry. Ice your anterior tibialis, face the front of your legs, the muscle there. You can roll that out with a foam roller, and then roll the bottom of your foot with a golf ball, and that'll help take care of your shin splints. There's kind of a side note here. Today is the 20th. I'm sure this will probably go down in the news. You guys have already heard that there's been a shooting in Colorado, and it's unfortunate because it seems like Colorado is always in the news for shootings. But yeah, just if you can, you get a chance today, just pray for the victims there, and also for the shooter. Jesus calls us to pray for our enemies and those who persecute us, and he's persecuted quite a few people. So let's pray for him and also for the victims as well. Because that's what we do here at New Life Fitness. It's about living your faith every day. So I encourage you guys, once again, live your faith every day. Have fun this weekend. Be safe. Take care. Bye.